Buenos días. Hoy es lunes y son las 12. Hello, everyone. It's 12 o'clock and it's Monday, so it's time for the first installment of Community Spanish this week. One of 3 sessions that I've been doing on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at noon, in addition to our children's programming, Children's French every day at 11, Children's French every day at 10:30, and Children's Spanish every day at 11. So we've got lots of programming coming for you this week. As usual, I'm going to be posting the videos up on our website in addition to the Facebook page with some extra resources. So I'll have a worksheet for you to do a little bit more practice after the session today. So if you want to get a little bit more comfortable with the topic, or if you want to share the resources with anyone else that you think might be interested, you're very welcome to. Please like, comment, and share on the videos. Let us know what you like. Let us know what other things we can teach that would be most helpful, how we can improve. Or you can also go to our virtual suggestion box on our website on the Facebook Live webpage, where you can leave us some suggestions for topics or anything else, kind of any comments. So please feel free to interact with us in any of these ways. Let us know again what you're liking and what else we can do to help you in your journey learning Spanish. So for today, we're going to take a look at question words in Spanish. So I'm first going to share some information with you, and then of course we're going to practice, because that's what's most important about when you learn something new, to make sure you can actually use it in the context, not just know the kind of theory behind it. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to share my screen so you can see. So first, we have kind of just like a vocabulary lesson, really, because we have to just learn some of these question words in Spanish. And so it's really just learning the words, memorizing the words, and then we'll get to how to use the words in a sentence. So first, I'm just going to have to read you the words in English and Spanish, and then please repítanme después de mí, and then you can get used to and hopefully start absorbing these question words when you repeat them out loud. So our first word we have for who is quién. Quién. And we also have the word, actually, if you are asking who, but you expect the answer is going to be more than one person, so then you can ask quiénes. Quiénes. Okay, so that's for who. Now, if we're asking like to who something is happening, we say a quién. A quién. Or a quiénes. Again, if we know that the answer is going to be more than one person, we can say a quiénes. A quiénes. Then for what, we have the word que. Que. You can hear how that U in the middle, we don't hear it when we pronounce it, really. It's just one sound, que. Okay. Next one we have for the word when. When is cuando in Spanish. Cuando. Cuando. Next we have for where. Where is donde. Donde. Now, to where, like where are you going? To where are you going? A donde. A donde. And sometimes you see this written all as one word. A donde. Okay, next we have this one, another very important question word, which maybe most people learning Spanish will know. Of your question words, they will know que, and they will know this one, which is por qué. Por qué means why. Por qué. Next for how is cómo. Cómo. This is one of our most basic words because we learned it in our first set of expressions when learning Spanish, like asking someone, ¿Cómo te llamas? Means what's your name, or literally it's how do you call yourself. That's why we use the word how, the como word. So ¿Cómo te llamas? And we also know the phrase ¿Cómo estás? How are you? This is again probably our first 2 expressions we learn in Spanish using this question word ¿Cómo? All right, next one is for the word which in Spanish is ¿Cuál? ¿Cuál? Or if you know, again, the answer is going to be more than one, so you want to say like which ones, we say ¿Cuáles? ¿Cuáles? So ¿cuál and cuáles? Okay, next one. So if we're asking how much of something. So for example, the most common thing we use with this one is how much does something cost? Is we use cuánto. So if we're describing something like how much of something and the thing is masculine, we use cuánto. So for example, how much is this thing? How much is the price? And price is masculine in Spanish, we use cuánto. But for example, if I want to say like, how much energy do you have? How much energy? Now, energía, energy is feminine. So I'm going to use the word cuánta in that case. cuánta energía. So you say cuánto and cuánta, okay? Depending on what thing is being described, we choose masculine or feminine. Now, kind of the same thing, but now in the plural, so we have more than one. We can ask either cuántos or cuántas. So how many? Again, for something that's plural, and the thing maybe is masculine, so we use cuántos, or the thing is feminine, so we use cuántas. Okay, like for example, I want to say how many books do you have? ¿Cuántos libros? But if I want to say how many chairs do you have in your classroom? ¿Cuántas sillas? Because sillas are feminine. So let's repeat these one more time again to help really our memory to absorb them, and then we're going to go to some example questions and then practice. So first we have quién. ¿Quiénes? So remember, please repiten después de mí. Please repeat after me. ¿Quién? ¿Quiénes? ¿A quién? ¿A quiénes? ¿Qué? ¿Cuándo? ¿Dónde? ¿A dónde? ¿Por qué? ¿Cómo? ¿Cuál? ¿Cuáles? ¿Cuánto? ¿Cuánta? ¿Cuántos? ¿Cuántas? Muy bien. So now you might notice something when you look at all these question words. Besides that, we have the question marks, as in this is something that's special to Spanish, that when you ask a question in Spanish, you notice you not only have the question mark at the end of the sentence or at the end of the phrase, but we actually also have to put a question mark at the front of the phrase and upside down. So the question marks kind of match each other. So we have to make sure not only that, but you'll also notice that all of our question words have accents on them. So like quién, quiénes, qué, cuándo, dónde, you can see all of our question words have accents on them. And that's not a coincidence. That's something actually we've noticed that that's kind of one of the markers that you know that it's a question word, because sometimes we can use these words in a sentence, not like a question. And the way we can kind of make them distinct to know which one is a sentence word and which one's a question word is by the accent. So for example, if I want to ask, where are you? The question, where are you? I use donde with an accent because I'm asking the question, where are you? Now, if I want to say a sentence, I know where you are, then this is where in a sentence, right? I'm not asking a question. So the difference when I write these in Spanish is that when I ask the question, I put donde and write the accent mark. But when I write that in the sentence, I know where you are, that donde will not have an accent. So that's part of what we can use to distinguish in writing. Now, the sound is completely the same. So there's no change in the pronunciation. But just in terms of our writing, is that the question word always has accent on it. But if you're using it in a sentence, then we take the accent mark off. Okay. So let's look at some examples of some classic questions we might be able to ask practicing with these question words. So we have the first question here. ¿Quién eres tú? ¿Quién eres tú? And again, please repeat these questions after me. And then if you want, you can even try to answer yourself. So, ¿quién eres tú? Who are you? ¿Quién eres tú? Yo soy Erika. Yo soy Erika. ¿Quién eres tú? Okay. ¿A quién ves tú? ¿A quién ves tú? Who do you see? Me, right? You see me. So, ¿a quién ves tú? Then we have, what language do you speak? ¿Qué idioma hablas tú? ¿Qué idioma hablas tú? ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? When is your birthday? ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? Mi cumpleaños es el 18 de febrero. ¿Tu cumpleaños? ¿Cuándo es? Next question. ¿Dónde vives tú? ¿Dónde vives tú? Where do you live? ¿Dónde vives tú? And you're welcome to answer any of these questions in the comments of the video. Now, except for maybe where do you live? Please don't answer that in the comments. We don't need your information posted about where you live. But for most of the other ones, you're free to post. So, ¿dónde vives tú? Next one we have, ¿a dónde va María? ¿A dónde va María? Where does Maria go? Next one, Very classic question. ¿Por qué estudias tú español? ¿Por qué estudias tú español? Good. I guess good question. Everyone else might have a different answer. ¿Cómo es tu casa? What's your house like? When I say, like, how is your house, I want you to describe it. ¿Cómo es tu casa? This one is a little bit of a long answer, so let's go to the next question. So, ¿cuál es tu deporte favorito? What is, or which is your favorite sport? ¿Cuál es tu deporte favorito? I have two more example questions to go here. We have, ¿cuánto cuesta el helado? That's an important question. How much does the ice cream cost? ¿Cuánto cuesta el helado? And the last one, ¿cuántos años tienes tú? Is another one of our examples, or expressions, excuse me, from the first set of expressions we learned of beginner saludos and presentaciones. So if you want to refresh your memory on some of those expressions, feel free to check out that video. Again, your first kind of greetings and basics expressions in Spanish. ¿Cuántos años tienes tú? How old are you? Now, if we're looking at these questions, we can see a pattern, and it's pretty easy actually in Spanish of how to put a question together. We have basically three parts. So first part is we have a question word, if we need one, because these are all questions asking for types of information, the who, the what, the when, the where, the why. But sometimes we have yes or no questions, of course. So if it's just a yes/no question, we don't need a question word. But assuming that we are asking for some kind of information, then we want to put a question word in the front. Now, the thing that you'll notice that's different is that when we make a question in comparison to a sentence, is that normally in a sentence, we have the person, the subject first, and then the verb. So for example, if I wanted to say like myself, I am Erica, yo soy Erika, right? I say I first, then am, then my name. So yo soy Erika. So that's normally when we make a sentence, we do that first. We do the person who it's about, and then the verb. But the thing that marks the question is that we swap the order. So you'll notice in the first one, ¿quién eres tú? Like we don't say ¿quién tú eres? We say ¿quién eres tú? So by swapping the order, putting the verb first and the person after, that's how we know it's a question. So, or like the second one, ¿a quién ves tú? So again, ves is the verb, you see. We put it in front of the person tú. ¿A quién ves tú? ¿Qué idioma hablas tú? Again, going the tú and the hablas are switching, whereas in a normal sentence, we would put tú first and then hablas. And then same thing with here. ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? So again, your birthday is the subject, and we're putting that at the end, and the verb is coming first. So you notice the same pattern in all of these questions. See, and all of them is the same thing. So now the thing that maybe would confuse someone a little bit is because, as maybe you know, because all of the verb conjugations in Spanish are unique, means like each conjugation only goes with one person. So for example, when I say eres, I know that that must be tú. It can't be yo, it can't be él. There's all other forms are different for each of these people. So because all of these verbs are distinct and they can only go with one person, it's very common in Spanish when people are speaking that they will just not say the person at all. So for example, I would just say, ¿quién eres? Right? Again, because when I hear eres, I know this must go with tú. So I don't need to say tú out loud because it's obvious based on the word eres. It can't be any other person. So when you hear a question, oftentimes people will leave out this word. So I think maybe when we think about in our heads how we order and put the verb first and the subject after, sometimes it can get a little confusing because we don't hear a subject. So we're not really sure about the order of the sentence. But we should know that if we were going to say the subject, it should go at the end. But again, because every verb conjugation is unique, by hearing the verb, you already know what person it is. So you don't need to put the person because we already know based on the verb who it is. In general, if for some reason like we just say like él and we don't specify who is he, who is this guy, who's he, then maybe it's not so clear. But in general, just by seeing the verb in the context of what you're talking about, you will know who it is. So you can leave it off. So for example, we can see all these questions that have tú. We could just not say it, and this would be correct. Like, ¿dónde vives? Is a complete question. ¿Por qué estudias español? Is a complete question. So the tú is not necessary. We can take it out because the verb tells us who it is. So, but we just for now, we keep in mind in your head the structure about it goes verb first and then person second. So that's the key that I want you to take away from this. So now let's get to the practice. That's without further ado. So we're going to do this this exercise down here. It's what I wanted to practice with. So this one we have a question in English and then we have a question in Spanish. So we have to choose the right question word to complete the question in Spanish. So try to remember the question words that we did. In fact, let's just review them one more time quickly before we go on to the exercise to make sure they're super fresh in your mind. Again, por favor, repiten después de mí. ¿Quién? ¿Quiénes? ¿A quién? ¿A quiénes? ¿Qué? ¿Cuándo? ¿Dónde? ¿A dónde? ¿Por qué? ¿Cómo? ¿Cuál? ¿Cuáles? ¿Cuánto? ¿Cuánta? ¿Cuántos? ¿Cuántas? Muy bien. So let's go and do the exercise together. And then after, I'm going to post another worksheet to give you even more practice with this if you want to even continue to get comfortable with these words, get comfortable with the structure of how to make a question, and get the hang of it. So please feel free to go look at the website a little bit later to see these resources for you. So we're going to try to finish these questions with what makes the most sense. So let's try it. So número uno, and again, please feel free to write in the comments of the video what answer you think it might be, or just say it out loud or think it to yourself, whatever you prefer. But it'd be great to see some comments below to make sure that everything is making sense. So, okay, so we have the first question. What does Juan have? So we know that we're looking for the question word what. Any ideas for the question word what? It would be ¿qué? So we're going to write ¿qué tiene Juan? ¿Qué tiene Juan? Okay, so then we're seeing the same structure we talked about before where the verb comes first and the person after. So ¿qué tiene Juan? What does Juan have? Okay, let's try número dos. How much does the car cost? How much does the car cost? So we're looking for the word for how much. Do you remember we had actually four words in this neighborhood. We had cuánto, cuánta, cuántos, and cuántas. So based on this example, what do you think would go best with el coche? Remember, we have to choose the word based on what it describes. So do you think cuánto goes best with el coche, cuánta, cuántos, or cuántas? If you said cuánto, you would be correct. Cuánto is for how much when the thing is masculine and singular, and el coche is masculine and singular. So cuánto cuesta el coche, and again we have the verb coming before the subject, el coche. So cuesta comes before and then el coche. Okay, número tres, who speaks now? So we're looking for the word who, which would be ¿quién? ¿Quién habla ahora? Who speaks now? ¿Quién habla ahora? Now, next one, número cuatro. Whom does Carlos see? Or like literally to who does Carlos see? Ideas? It would be, again, because we're saying whom or to whom, we're going to say a quién. A quién. This one just a little bit of an extension on the one we saw in número tres. So, ¿a quién ve Carlos? Whom does Carlos see? To whom? ¿A quién? Okay. Now, número cinco. How is the house? As in, what is it like? We're looking for a description, some more information. So, if you remember how we say in Spanish about how is something, what is it like? Like in one of our first questions we learned, in our first two questions we learned in Spanish, we have como. I'm going to put the accent mark because I realize I don't have the O with the accent mark. So we have como. Como es la casa. literally how is the house, but I mean like what is it like? Can you give me some more details, some more information, a little description? ¿Cómo es la casa? Like the same como we have in ¿Cómo te llamas? What's your name? And ¿Cómo estás? How are you? All right, two more, dos más. Okay, número 6. Who travels to Spain? And we're expecting it's like a group of people, so more than one. So we have the option now to expand and say quiénes. So quiénes is the word we use for who when we expect the answer is going to be more than one person. So it's plural. A plural is quién. So we have quién is for one person, and quiénes when we expect it's going to be more than one person. So quiénes viajan a España, who travels to Spain, and again, we're expecting it's maybe a group of people, or at least more than one. So we use quiénes. All right, last one, número 7. With whom does she speak? With whom does she speak? So this one, they already filled out the first part for us. The con means with, okay? So then we're with whom does she speak? So we're gonna have one of our old favorites, the word quién. ¿Quién? ¿Con quién habla ella? And again, same structure we've been practicing where we swap. So habla comes first, the verb comes first, and then ella comes after. So we're again verb and then subject. So we're swapping it, and that's part of what we know what identifies the question. And it's pretty easy for us to put together questions in Spanish. We just have the question word at the front, and then the verb, and then the person that it's about comes after. So we're just swapping the order. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Muchas gracias. Please feel free to tune into the next Community Spanish on Wednesday at 12. Otherwise, between now and then, we'll have several more children's French and children's Spanish lessons. So please feel free to check those out too. And again, we'll have up on our website the video, all the links to the videos we've done. They're nice and organized. If you're looking for a particular category, it will all be there. In addition to some worksheets, just a couple of little exercises so you can practice more with all the things that you're learning or your kids are learning. And so I will see you on Wednesday. Hasta el miércoles.